How do you do it? How do you seem like you're always competing? You're always at the top. You're always, you have an idea. How do you keep up with that?
Well, knowledge and experience.
Yeah.
Um, I don't think there's a large enough emphasis when we're talking about the physical aspects of the sport.
Right.
I don't think there's a large enough emphasis on developing a range of your physical tools.
Okay.
Whether it's raising or lowering your speed, whether it's raising or lowering your rev rate, whether it's manipulating your axis rotation, whether it's loft like we had to deal with a couple weeks ago at the US Open, whether it's grip pressures, grip tensions. I just don't think that there's enough emphasis on being able to know where your ranges are so that you can make choices that stay within your ranges of repeatability. Too many times people just stay within this small little window of what they're capable of doing and then try to match all the other variables up and make them match what they want to do, rather than being willing to broaden what you're willing to do so that you have a much better chance of matching up. And through the years and the knowledge that I've gained from Bull U, without a doubt that has made the difference. Yeah. Without a doubt. Being able to understand what we're all looking for as it relates to ball motion. Everybody talks about skid roll hook.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that's very, very basic when we talk about it that way. What were you going to say?
And you mentioned Bull U. Now I know most people don't. Bull U's been around for a while, but I think it's still kind of, the word still needs to get out about Bull U. I didn't know what Bull U was till about 6 months ago. So briefly, without expanding too much, what is Bull U?
Well, Bull U is a whole movement. It's a whole movement that was founded by Rick Benoit.
Okay.
And it's based on Rick's 40 plus years of experience in helping the tour for the last 30 years, and his knowledge and experience working with the greatest bowlers in the world and things that he's learned. Bull U has a whole teaching component that teaches the sport and breaks the sport down into 5 unique separate elements. Bull U is Pro Shop certification. That will hopefully be coming down the pipe. You can be a Bull U registered, Bull U certified Pro Shop as to the way that your knowledge is able to be passed on to your customers. You can be a Bull U certified coach. We want to implement coaching certification. As Bull U continues to grow in popularity, there will be more and more people that get certified as a Bull U coach, and then those people around the country that want knowledge from a Bull U perspective can seek that out.
Okay.
Bull U is tournament formats. Imagine a tournament format where the scoring system is such that if you leave a 2-pin, you go back pins. You lose pins just by leaving any 2-pin combination. Imagine a tournament format that is 3-man Baker. Imagine a tournament format that is, well, Bull U, we did this one Pro-Am in Topeka, Kansas.
Okay.
To where we invited anybody who was anybody important. I say we, it was all Rick that put this together. And this was in 2006.
Okay.
So we filled the bowling center, and the whole Brunswick staff was there, and we were bowling this Pro-Am. And we used the 5 PBA patterns, and so we printed out the 5 PBA patterns and taped that up on the scoring monitor. That's what invisible course you're bowling on now. Then on another lane we had invisible obstacles, but we had one oil pattern that was called the checkerboard, to where it had oil, no oil, oil, no oil, oil, no oil,
Jeez.
all the way down the lane. Then we had another one that was called speed bumps. So we had 10 feet of dry and 15 feet of oil, and then 10 feet of dry and 15 feet of oil. And you'd literally see your ball go like this and then straighten out, and then like this and straighten out, going all the way down the line. We had the Sahara, and we actually named them. We had one called the Sahara Desert. What do you think that was?
No oil.
I'm guessing.
No
yeah.
oil, completely stripped. We had one that was called the Great Flood. What do you think that was?
A lot.
So we had all these other invisible lane patterns that we put on the lane.
Okay.
And then we had 10 lanes, well, it was about 8 to 10 lanes, to where we actually had visible obstacles on the lane. We had big chunks of memory foam stuck on the lane. We had tree from the thing. We had the carpet, the little entryway, the little 6-foot runner carpets. We had one of those laying on the lane, and the object is you had 4 shots to knock over all the pins. So we turned off the sweeps. You had 4 shots to knock over all the pins. And however many pins you had left standing after 4 shots was added to the 4, and that was your score for that hole or that lane.
Okay.
And then you'd go to the next lane. And then you'd go to the next lane. And the owner of the bowling center, he wasn't too key on the whole thing. and so he left, and while he was driving home, he heard on the radio station, on the local radio station that he had on, one of the guys that worked at the radio station was at that Pro-Am, and he called in to the radio station and said, "You need to put me live because I can't believe what I'm seeing. People are loving what they're doing. I have never seen so many people have so much fun. What an education this is in what the sport of bowling really is." So Bowl U can be that type of thing too, where there's visible obstacles.
That's thinking out of the box too.
Yeah, it is. But I think that's what Rick's all about.
Rick is very much about thinking out of the box.
Oh yeah.
So he, and he is one of the most innovative, one of the most open-minded thinkers, creative thinkers that I've ever met. And the way that he has built and put this whole program together is absolutely, he calls it, this very well could be the next revolution in the sport of bowling.